So I often get messages from traders who want to trade more pairs. They think that because they have more pairs on the platform that they follow, that they take trades on, that they make automatically more money with those more pairs. But it couldn't be further from the truth. This leads us to the question though of how many currency pairs should you be trading in Forex? Should you be trading all the pairs on your platform? Should you be trading only 3, only 1? People say all these things online, but I think it depends and we gotta go more in depth on that. So let me break it down for you. Alright, so I think the amount of currency pair you look at depends on 2 things. First is what stage you're at in your trading journey. Are you a beginner? Are you more experienced? Are you trading full time? And second is your time frame. Are you scalping? Are you day trading? Are you more of a swing trader? Are you just like investing long term, so position trading? These things will affect how many currency pairs you look at. So obviously, scalpers will be looking at maybe only 1 pair per day. People who swing trade, who trade on bigger time frames like position trade, could be looking at, let's say, more pairs because they want to have opportunities and they can't just get all those in 1 pair for a whole year. So that will depend. But let me break this down into a framework for you to understand based on how you are in your journey and what things you're currently doing. So for beginners, I usually encourage people to, if they're not scalping, they are swing trading or day trading, to begin with no more than 3 pairs. And the reason is simple is because first of all, you want to have pairs that work well with your strategy. So it's easier to test 3 pairs and 20 pairs. And also it's easier for them to kind of keep track of things. If you have multiple pairs and you just scroll back to them throughout the day, that can kind of get you off track. If you have 3 pairs to follow, then that's a lot easier to follow. Like just go through your pairs. You got 3 things to look at, very simple, very quick. And you can find your trades pretty easily that way. If you follow too many pairs, it's just harder to keep track of things and you miss trades. And the results won't be as good as what you expected in your backtest. Plus, it's very hard to test 20 pairs and kind of have the results for it and then start trade on them. Usually, new traders will backtest a few pairs and they will kind of say, oh, it works, so it's going to work on all pairs. And that's just not the case because some pairs behave differently. And you got to adapt to these different pairs and conditions in the market, which as a new trader, you're not really experienced for. So 3 pairs, I know it might seem boring. It might seem like, oh, you're not getting any trades on those. Focus on the style that's not too high of a time frame to kind of build your experience. So anything below the daily chart to be good. If you go on a daily chart, you might have a few more. So let's say 3 to 5 pairs is a good start, but not really much beyond that because then it becomes tougher to get feedback and master your style at first in the beginning. Now I put this here from beginners to until when you're profitable because some people are going to take longer to get profitable. I think it's the wrong time to add pairs when you're not profitable yet, but you're trying to make it work. Don't add pairs just to add confusion. Keep the same pairs you had before. And then once you're profitable, you add some more pairs to it to kind of expand your horizon. If you cannot trade 3 to 5 pairs well, you cannot trade 20 pairs well. That's impossible. So focus on having these pairs traded correctly, following your style, your setup, your strategy all the time on these pairs, and being able to take the right trades, mastering your style. And once that is done, once you get to see some momentum on that, then add more pairs. Now, you might say, oh, it's going to be slow. I'm not going to trade only 5 pairs for the rest of my life for sure. Or you might say, oh, I cannot take enough trades on those because it's too slow. The market is not giving you the trades I want. That's for you to find it. And trading overall is a game that's slow. It's a game where you got to wait a lot. So if you practice waiting at first in the beginning of your trading journey, then waiting for the right setups will become easier over time. And you want to train yourself for that. So once you get profitable, how do you do it? Well, what I'll say is keep trading the pairs you're good at. The 3 to 5 pairs you're actually pretty good at. And then add some more to it. So you might decide to test your edge on, let's say, a new pair. Euro Swiss franc, for example, which is a pair that I don't trade myself, but I've kind of looked at in the past. And then see if it works well on that pair. Do some backtesting, try to master your strategy on that pair. See if there's some things you got to tweak maybe a little bit. See if things are different, the conditions are not the same as other pairs. And see how you perform on that. If you perform well, you can add it to your arsenal, your playbook. If it doesn't perform well, just drop it, look at something else. And that way you kind of build a log of pairs you like. So maybe you get from 5 to maybe somewhere like 10 pairs in the future as you get profitable. Now, you can always scale your way up and add more pairs. Currently, I trade about 12 pairs myself. And the ones that I add are usually sort of correlated, which we'll talk about later, to the other ones. The goal as a profitable trader here is really to kind of expand and see what works well for you, what doesn't work well, and kind of add to your portfolio so that you can have more trades and you can kind of still master things like not be too overwhelmed. If you go from like 5 pairs to 15 pairs, that's very overwhelming. But if you kind of test it out, look at different pairs, look at the price action in these pairs, and see if your edge works well, then you add them slowly, then it won't become very overwhelming. So you can take an afternoon, backtest some stuff, look at pairs that are working for you, not working for you, and then go back and add them to your portfolio or just drop them and kind of put them away. Now, the next stage is all the way from profitable to when you are trading full-time. When you get to trade full-time, this is where you can start to add some more stuff because then you already know what works. You are probably trading somewhat well to be able to make a full-time or at least a consistent income. It doesn't have to be full-time, but at least you make some money consistently. You're able to kind of keep track of things. You've been able to scale up your account over time. So you're not just trading like $1,000, but you're more like at maybe $10, $15, $20,000 minimum. Then that's where you can start to add some more pairs to it and sort of experiment. Now, as a profitable trader, you start to experiment, add more pairs over time. But as a full-time trader or someone who's really consistent and profitable, then the goal here is really to see what else you could do with it and kind of keep trading the pairs you have, but keep managing them. So sometimes you gotta add some pairs when you're profitable to your portfolio, but they just won't perform well over time. The results on those pairs just kind of drop off over time. So it's time to go back and see in your portfolio. So your trading journal, your log, what pairs are working well and what pairs are not working so well. What pairs you should drop and what pairs you can keep. Some pairs have been losing you money for a while. You can just drop them and focus on something else to add maybe. You might want to look at different pairs too. Pairs that are different. You can even go as far as exotic pairs if you want to. Have a look at these weird pairs like the Thai baht and the US dollar or the Mexican pesos if you want to. Or have a look at the Swedish krona or something to kind of see how things could be better. And how you could use those pairs to maybe trade better, or maybe trade more setups, or maybe take advantage of markets that are not too traded. These markets are more on the side, people don't look at them too much, but you as a full-time trader could maybe benefit from them. I know I placed a couple of good trades on the US dollar Thai baht this past year, and it's been pretty good for me. So adding these things over time, kind of exploring more and searching for more stuff really helps you to fine-tune your results and just build a better portfolio overall. Now, I don't want you to go and trade like 40, 50 pairs necessarily. That's not the point. But go to as many as you want without having your portfolio being too exposed. And that's really where we got to talk about correlations, because in Forex, a lot of the pairs are correlated, meaning they have the same base or they have the same currency with them. So for example, a lot of pairs have the US dollar. A lot of other pairs have the Canadian dollar or the euro, for example. And the more pairs they have in the same manner with the same currencies, the more correlation you have in your account. So if you were to trade all the USD pairs, you probably have most of the pairs moving at the same time. When there's a news, all pairs will move with that news. When there's something else, they will all move with that same direction. And that's where there's no point of trading sometimes 50 pairs. You could be in a place where you set up only appears on 1 out of 10 pairs. That's possible, and that are correlated, but it just won't happen a lot. So find a way to trade multiple pairs without having too much correlation. And that's kind of what I do. The reason why I have 12 pairs is I never have more than 3 pairs with the same currency. So I could have, let's say USD CAD, USD Singapore, and maybe I'll have like Euro USD. And then that's it. Then I might have like AUD USD, AUD CAD, maybe AUD GPY, for example. So only 3 pairs with the same currency. And the other ones are sort of on the side. They have different currencies, different mix, which means they don't move all at the same time. I pick the pairs that work best for me within those correlated pairs. So instead of Euro Pound, I'm going to take Euro CAD, which works better for me. And I kind of filter it out to the pairs I like. Now you could trade 12 pairs if you want to. You could trade more than that. You could trade less than that. That's okay. There's no real one recipe for all traders into how many pairs they got to trade. It depends on you, what stage you're at, and what things you're working on. But last reminder here is if you go in the market and you see all these pairs on your platform, try some new stuff from time to time. It's no point of being like bored to all same pairs you always trade, like the same charts, the same things. That's good for making money, but it's not good for keeping interest in trading. So sometimes go back and see different pairs for fun. See what else is out there. See what orange juice is doing. See what coffee is doing, for example. If you want to look into even like commodities, for example. Or see what the exotic pairs are doing and how you can benefit from them. See how the crosses you've never looked at are doing and how you can use them to maybe even trade better or find new styles on them. So that's a very important advice. It's good to stick to the same pairs, good to look at the same charts all the time, because that's where you can make money. But you need to try some new stuff to keep your interest and keep your passion for trading alive. So hope that was useful. Hope you got some value out of this. Let me know in the comment section. I want to know how many pairs you trade. Are you trading 5, 10, 15, 20, 50 pairs? Whatever, let me know in the comment section below. I want to hear your thoughts. And how did you kind of come up with these pairs? I'm curious to hear as well. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if it's not done yet. I publish videos like this 3 times a week, 2 videos in the week, 1 to you in the weekend to keep you inspired and learn from traders around the world. And I'll catch you back here in the next video pretty soon. Ciao.